this dude right here is my man. He's like a fucking spick. I was like, what the fuck?
Shit.
They like debating.
Guys, this is Codeswitchin episode 5. Anthony B and Amanda. This is a slate.
I don't want to say my response to him because it was equally like fucked up.
Yo,
at least not on the podcast.
This might be a super long episode, or this might be the 5th episode. But we got this is Sergio here on Codeswitchin, the coolest new podcast in the known universe. I hang out with a lot of people. I like to say it's the 4 Ps: porn stars, politicians, punks, and pastors. And Anthony B here is at least 3 out of those 4.
Damn right.
We got 5 is the powerful Rodimus.
Yeah. Rodimus is here, clearly drunk.
I am not drunk.
We got from our previous episode Amanda Ocasio, the journalist and feminist, awesome, badass, boss-ass bitch. I can call her that because she said I could. She's a thug. We're all thugs here. I don't know.
Boss ass bitch. She's
I
a bad.
love you all.
She's a bad.
Yeah.
I like that.
So let's get this shit started again. Anthony, thank you for coming. I know you're a very, very, very fucking busy man. I don't even know where to start with the shit you're dealing with. So just I'll let you talk about it.
Where you want to start? You know, entertainment or activism? Like, I'm deep in everything.
All right. So you're involved in the adult entertainment industry.
And the mainstream as well.
And the
too.
mainstream.
Yeah.
You're a Brooklyn native.
Damn right.
Damn straight. You're also an activist in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yep.
Very heavily involved.
Yeah.
And we're entering a new era of that struggle here. You're an ordained pastor?
Ordained pastor and so many other things out there. Ordained pastor. I run the Brooklyn sector for Copwatch Patrol Unit. You know, part of NYC Shut It Down, which is the most active chapter in the Black Lives Matter movement nationwide.
Wow.
You like we do it. We do it.
So, you go hard.
You go hard. So let's take Lauryn Hill's advice. On all the theory and everything, you got to throw a motherfucker so the ignorant motherfuckers hear you. So let's start with the adult entertainment shit, and then go into the activism. Because pussy sells.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wanted to start there, but I'm not ignorant.
Wait, you got a master's. You got like 7.
I'm only working on my 2nd, and because of my institution, I'm not certain it counts.
That's like 7.
What'd you get into first? Let's start there. What'd you get into first?
Well, first I was in the mainstream entertainment. Started when I was 16 in high school. Shout out to all my Midwood Hornets out there.
You went to Midwood High School?
Yeah.
Dude, when I was in high school, I went to Stuyvesant. It's been established. So I had the snow bunny fever, but for Russian and Jewish chicks. So
yep.
I'm from Queens. You remember? You were there. And
well, why the specific kind of snow bunny?
No,
because that's what I was around.
In high school, that was what was popping.
It's like a 50% Russian Jewish school.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
40%.
So wait, you got all the white people that didn't get into Hunter? Because.
Or you got all the white people that didn't get into Sty.
Wow.
We just got all the other white people.
No, because my school was 2/3 Asian. Not saying that's a problem.
Sty is 2/3 Asian at this point. But anyway, so I was at fucking Midwood for my first couple loves. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. You
I'm sorry. I was very disrespectful there.
You got me reminiscing about them Russians. But matter of fact, yeah, Midwood was when I had my first unorthodox Jewish girl too. So yeah. That was very entertaining. But like I said, I started out, 16 years old promoting for clubs. I was the youngest promoter out in New York. I did promotions for La Rumpa, Latin Quarters, the Roxy. Back then, that's when they used to pay us like $3 per flyer that came into the club and stuff. And I'm like, wow, like this is nothing. But 16, I'm like, this is nothing, but this is money. Like, that I was able to get anything I wanted, from the store, because of course, the schools make money off of us anyway.
Of course.
They're like, hey, here goes a sandwich, but if you want some cookies, that's $1.50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can't go to the store, so I guess I buy it from you.
Yeah.
But I was loving it. Walking around, had money in my pocket, You know, I was selling, you know, my own little bootleg mixtapes out of my locker and stuff like that. Literally, there were bootleg of bootlegs. I would take the tissue and put it in the cassette tape so it could record, and I would put all the different songs on there and then sell them. Wow. So I was an unofficial DJ at that point.
Yes.
You know, but you know, I found a passion in that with music and everything like that, because I was also part of the choir. You know, and you know, Midwood, and then also high school choir. And for all y'all listen to that graduation song that plays every June and July from that chick Vitamin C. That's us in the background.
No shit.
You sound like an unsung hood legend right now.
Dude, much respect.
Like we've done a lot, but you know, so shout out to All City High School Choir for that. They hooked us up with that. Shout out to Electric Records, even though y'all screwed us on our royalties, but whatever. We were young and dumb, you know. But from there, I always had passion. The music thing was from when I was born. My family's big in music, you know. But promotions, you know, started when I was in high school, and I went from there. Went to college in Monroe College in New Rochelle, and started throwing my own parties at Keith's Catering Hall up there, and so forth. And then, you know, it was banging. I had own in college coming to my parties. That's where I met, you know, most of the women that I put as promotions and stuff like that. But then also, that's where I got a lot of my clientele there in CNR. You know, got a lot of exes from there too, but yeah, whatever. And then my first celeb encounter was DMX, Dragon, and Eve.
DMX is coming back. I see him on
Yeah.
Instagram
He's about to come on with a new album and stuff, so shout out to him and stuff. It was at the Palladium. And it's so funny because I went to the Palladium because one of the characters from The Wire was there as a bouncer. So I went to go show some respect to him, and he was like, yo, come inside. You know, I'm gonna walk inside. I don't see nobody else but Eve. Everybody else is blacked out. I'm like,
wow.
I like
wow,
her.
Palladium, those were the days.
Yeah, and he was like, yo, you want to meet her? Introduce me to her. I'm talking to her.
Days.
Dragon comes behind me. It's like,
why didn't you invite me back here, Amanda?
And he's like, yo, bro, you know,
we didn't know
like
each other.
And I was like,
we
yeah.
did.
And he was like, well, you know, Eve, yo, this is, he like, what's your name? I'm like, shit, I don't want to have an official name yet. So I was like, Darkchild. Because that was the name of my entertainment company at the time. I'm like, Darkchild. He was like, oh, that's what's up. Well, this is Darkchild. You know, then X came up like, yo, I know Darkchild out there. You know, and he was talking about Darkchild that did the whole Destiny Child album and stuff like that. So I was like, well, yeah, I met him while I was in high school. And he was like, well, that's where you got it now. I said, I actually had that. So it was a whole conversation about how I had that before he had it and how I was established before he was established, but yet still I was here, but he was up here.
And how old are you in this conversation?
I was like 18. You know, and then X was like, well, yo, I got a club on Yonkers that I go to called Waterfront. If you could get in, I'll have you do promotions for me.
Wow.
And I was like, well, shit. Yo, I used to do promotions at Latin Quarters and La Rupa. I guarantee I get in.
Yeah.
One day the bouncer was like, no, because I was the youngest one out the crew. He's like, you can't get in. So I was like, yo.
This is reminding me of the movie Dope.
You know, but I'm like, yo, I got 100 in my pocket that says I do. He's like, you ain't got 100 in your pocket. I'm like, yeah. He was like,
oh, shit.
well, you could get in. You know, but then that's where it took off. You know, I started doing promotions for DMX from there, you know, and then went to the Marine Corps after, got out, you know, put everything on hold, got out, still in the Marine Corps, transitioned my company to Social Sea Entertainment, which became like one of the hottest going, you know, independent, entertainments out there in New York. And, you know, from there, I started making mad relationships, you know, with Rick Ross, the GS Boys who had the Stanky Leg song, you know, Ja Rule, Little Rule.
My homegirl, like, threw out her back doing the Stanky Leg. At Darien Lake to Chris Brown. No, Justin Bieber.
We have a disclaimer. Do it properly and you're all right. you know?
Justin Bieber is not.
Yeah, you know, but...
So there's a trend of people that go into the military that come out, and some of them become real hardcore activists.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a side of you I didn't know at first when I met you at one of these aforementioned sex parties from the previous episode. But
wait. Before we go into the military stuff. So apparently I'm part of the ignorant dynamic, right, that wants to hear more about. So you're promoting for DMX. You get in the bouncers, the club, whatever. What happens after?
Oh, like, this is one of them clubs that first time, like, I've been to Sue's Rendezvous, but I've never been into a bar
Wow.
Yeah, and that's at 18 years old.
Yeah. At 18, you were at Sue's Rendezvous.
Sue's Rendezvous.
All right, so let me tell you something. There's Batman, Superman, right? There's John Constantine, Black Panther. All have been replaced as my favorite superhero. You are now my favorite superhero. That's where we're at right now.
Well, yeah, I was, like I said, I was the youngest in my crew. Like, I had money. I made money when I was in college, so I was good. Okay. You know, so everywhere I went, they tested me, and I showed them the knot, and they're like, hey, cool. You know, so, but like at, Waterfront in Yonkers, where extras and stuff, like, they section it off. One night they'll have, where, the women could be on the other side and they have male dancers for them, and the guys just stay at the bar, we drink up, and then the male dancers leave, then they open up the area, then we're back there. And then the night that I went, though, happened to be when the women dancers were there, and then that's where the whole credit card down the ass came from.
Yes, it's like a tip drill.
Yeah, that's basically.
You did that.
That's where it came from.
So you're saying you did it before Nelly?
I did it way before Nelly. Nelly did that in like 2005, 2006. I did that in '99.
And Dr. Michael Eric Dyson has a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, because it was one of the moments, literally one of the moments where I ran out of singles, drunk as hell, with my peoples, and they're like, we can't tip no more. And I took my bank card out and said, well, I got the transaction. And then, boom, it just took off from there.
And on the other hand, my freshman year when I went to a white frat that was Russian, I tried to pay a stripper in loose change.
That is awesome. How did I not know this story?
Yeah, we tried that one time. A lot of bruises.
Yeah, I wish you were there, Amanda.
And that was when I was in the Marine Corps. Like, alcohol, Marines, and strip clubs, we don't mix.
I've seen a lot of like wild shit go down between like different branches of the military and strip clubs. Like I visit a lot of strip clubs as a single male, right? There's no shame in my game, right?
You mean the brawls between us, or
no, the brawls between you guys and fucking security. And it's always a brawl. There's always one guy who's trying to keep, nah bro, it's cool. He's like, no man, fuck that. And then it's like,
so I studied abroad in Cuba.
It's always a fight.
I studied abroad in Cuba, and there's Marines walking the fucking streets of Havana, even 7 years ago, and they're fucking wilding out.
Because I'm part Cuban. So salute to you for that.
Shit.
Jamaican Cuban.
Yo, if anybody listens...
You full Caribbean.
Hardcore.
Yo, if anybody listening to this needs somebody to go film in Cuba...
You could be Caribbean child since black child's
send me.
Corner the market.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. So, you got the party promoter shit. You got this. What came next? So you're 18. What came next? The activism or the adult industry? Or is it all?
Actually, the activism started when I was 12. But it was like it wasn't like a full blown. It was just me interrupting a whole bunch of privileged people that ran the school systems and so forth. I went to Winthrop Junior High School.
Outside.
I went to Winthrop Junior High School in Brooklyn. My mom took me to, it was a Board of Education meeting and so forth. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what's going on. Like, I didn't know what was going on. She just went. So I'm like, if she's going, it's got to be something serious. So kind of find out they were going to segregate the schools.
What?
Which basically like.
Wait, where was this? This is New York?
Yeah. But check this. This whole rezoning that they did, that's the flip name for the segregation.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that time, it was considered school rezoning,
yeah,
which was school segregation,
of course.
Which basically they just changed the name later on and then took all the funds out of the black and brown communities and said, hey, you got a lot of money in this community, but we're going to give you some more. We're going to give you all the programs.
Of course.
But then I was like, well,
it's kids who don't need it. Because right now, I don't date her anymore, but I used to screw around with some girl who, like, works for some of those programs, and she's like, these programs would benefit kids, in lower income.
Exactly.
She struggles with that. It's like a struggle for her.
Oh yeah, it's real out there. And I'm sitting there at the age of, what was I, like 12? I'm like, yo, this doesn't seem right. It seemed like it activated something in me. It activated the activism part of my family, because my family is very militant. So
from what militant tradition do they come from?
Basically everything from Che Guevara to all of them. Like, the whole movement It's what my family's been in from Cuba to all the way, from Jamaica. Plus, I'm Thayan or Indian. So, like, we've been fighting for the longest time
and
against
those
oppression.
are two traditionally very politically active Caribbean communities, the Cuban community and the Jamaican one.
Yeah, because basically, if y'all want to know why Columbus left the Caribbean islands, it was because of the Jamaican, like, burnt down all his fleet in St. Mary. Well, we're talking about the fact that I shut down, this whole racist system that they had at the time. Well, they not even shut down. I made them watch their P's and Q's, so they had to back up real quick and reform their planning, But wrote, like I said, I asked my mom for, paper and a pen. I wrote like a 2-page speech, which I was never doing in school, even though I was in the STAR program. Shout out to Winthrop. But, I was like, nah, something has to happen. And I read my speech to them. Everybody stood up, clapped and stuff. And I was like, okay, where do we go next? And then they thanked me for being on stage. Next day, though, in school, my principal comes to my classroom and was like, so the school chancellor is here and it's calling an emergency assembly. We need you downstairs. And as soon as I walk out the class, they rush up to me and say, what did you do wrong? And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't even know who our school chancellor is. I'm like, what do you mean what did I do wrong? And so me not thinking about the day prior, me not knowing that the guy that invited me on stage was the school chancellor, I go downstairs and he calls me up on stage and he's like, I just want to tell y'all that this young man right here is the reason why your school has the funding that it has now, because what he did yesterday, we took an emergency vote last night and decided to not rezone, aka resegregate the schools. And I'm like, oh shit. That was me?
That
Much
story,
respect.
that story is so fucking like beautiful. Like, this is why you are now my favorite superhero. Right? That like what? That is like a superhero origin story.
But the crazy thing, my mom still has the letter from him because after that he sent me a letter of thanks. Wow. She has that right there.
Who was the chancellor at the time? Rudy Cruz?
Was it a white guy or a black guy?
No, it was a white guy.
Okay, so
Dr. Gardner was his name. He passed away. But shout out to his family because y'all raised a respectable white man that knew what to do when a black child stood up and said enough is enough.
Which is the best thing a white person can do.
Yeah, use that privilege.
It's just, like, it's not about black or white. It's just there's people, and like most people are assholes, right? And so if you put someone in a privileged place, they're gonna be a super dick because people are already predispositioned to being assholes, right?
Exactly.
Like, slavery could have never happened if there weren't already like those African tribes working hand in hand with us. Like, no one ever talks about the fact that the guy from Amistad, I forget the guy's real name, at the end of when he's liberated us, he became a fucking slave trader after that to find his family, which he never did.
Yeah, and I have a term for that and stuff, in which we had a very big discussion about this yesterday at one of our meetings with Akai and Gurley's family. It is called a model minority. When you get privilege, you are now a model minority. And for all you people out there who are model minorities, I'm the man to call you out, because what it is basically whether you consider yourself Hispanic, Latino, African American, Caribbean American, whatever. If you yourself decide that you're going to take your privilege and your status and step on the backs of those who came up with you or those who are in a struggle that you were once in, you're a model minority. You're going to be held accountable, and you are worse. I could basically say you are worse than the slave traders and the occupiers that are out there, because of the fact that you are supposed to come and build up from there. And I got a very disgusting taste towards people like that.
You're turning on your own people.
Yeah, because people who are ordinarily grown up this way in supremacy, I expect that from them.
Yeah.
So that's opponent number one right there. But then you as being, of the same descent or just going through the same struggle that I've been through and so like that, and you look back at me and say, oh, well, I don't classify myself as, with you anymore, then that's a problem. For example, like everybody knows with the Kai Gurley story, you have Ken Thompson out there who is the Brooklyn DA. And he knows that, we don't like him. We got Buy Ken shirts You know, underneath this, I got my shirt for the Girly 7, which shout out to all of them because.
So for I actually mentioned this in the podcast, but for those that don't know what Akai Gurley is, he was the young man that was murdered by a cop of Asian descent in a project stairwell that happened to be pitch black.
Pink houses.
The cop was walking with his gun in his hand in the hood stairwell. And then Akai Gurley and his girlfriend walked into the stairwell because the elevator was broken. And the fact that he walked into the stairwell scared the cops so much, in the most pussy move ever. Because I've walked in project stairwells countless times being the smallest, most lightest skinned person in the fucking stairwell. And everyone was more scared than me, and all I had was a fucking clipboard and a pen. Fucking pussy cop.
I gotta say something about that.
And he shot him to death. And you work with that family, and I want to talk to that. But Rodimus, make your point real quick.
I have to say, that Akai Gurley shit was so scary to me, man. I've dated a lot of project chicks, right? And so, like, I mean, and you go home, like, who the fuck's gonna walk me home and all that stuff? But whatever. I've dated a lot of project chicks, and like, a lot of times I will walk the stairs because it's a great source of cardio, number one. And yeah, well, it's a great source of cardio, and it smells like fucking dick in the fucking in the
Dude, people
elevators.
Fuck, people shit, people
it
smoke.
smells like shit in the fucking elevators. And like, there may be a junkie or two in the project, right? Like, all right, listen, like, it's no fucking cakewalk going down those stairs. But I go down them. I'm like, what, are you gonna fucking rob me? You're not gonna get anything.
It's Times Square in 1989. That's what it is.
Like, no, honestly, but yeah, it kind of is. Depending on where you're at. There's some project buildings I'm not gonna walk down the stairway.
Rockaway.
But like, for the most part, like, I'm like, God, like, this guy could have fucking shot me, like, point blank.
But see, at the end of the day, like, a lot of cause I don't know if y'all heard about what happened on in February. I think it was February 20th, something like that, when they had a pro Liang rally in Cadman Plaza.
That was so disgusting.
Now check this out. Now most of them, like, a lot of people's like, oh, the Asian community. But we was like, hold on, like, we dig a little, you know, we dug in and we found out that a lot of them were from the Nassau County area. You know, there weren't Asians that were here, and so if they were in the Nassau County area, there was a bus company, which I swear I wish I remember the bus company name, but they actually bused them in free of charge, and there was 15,000 Asians, but yet on Akai Gurley's side, shout out to Auntie Gurley, you know, and all my peoples in NYC Shut It Down, there was 20 of us. Literally, it was like the 300.
Wow.
They went first in front and stuff. I handed my peoples my cane. Can everybody see I walk with a cane?
So for those not following, a lot of Asian people came out in support of the cop who killed the Akai Gurley because he was Asian.
Asian people.
Can I just pipe up there for a second?
Go ahead.
I had a classmate. I love her to death, but she actually wrote her capstone piece. That dealt in part with Peter Liang, and it was the Asian community saw him as he could easily be anybody's son. I'm sorry, not everybody's son is gonna go and shoot an unarmed black man in the streets.
Listen,
I
like to think
or
that
in the stairwell.
I like to think that the fucking broth of me old shillelagh isn't a pussy. Like, if don't be a fucking cop and be a twat. Like, there's protocol, and he did not follow protocol.
Check this. One thing that they didn't put out in the media that they try to bury is the fact that his captain told him and his partner to not specifically go down that staircase.
There you fucking go.
Specifically.
There you fucking go.
Peter Liang didn't know how to perform CPR.
Yeah, well, besides that, he didn't even attempt it because
they made it this racial thing.
Why didn't he tell him to go down the staircase?
Because one of the things they were trying to make, because they seen that there was a lot of kickback, you know, a lot of pushback from the people within the projects, but then also, you know, anywhere, you know. The
second question, the pushback, was it from the tenants association and the older people, or is it from the younger people in the projects?
It was more from the people that represent the younger people in the projects, because a lot of the tenant associations, I'm sorry, y'all modern minority. Matter of fact, no, sorry, not sorry. Y'all modern minorities, y'all be diamond on these young, y'all be diamond these young heads off.
You don't have to apologize for that. It's true.
No, that's why I said sorry, not sorry. You know, because I'm gonna respect you because you're my elder, but I'm gonna disrespect you because you're a modern minority.
Spanish kid who grew up in the projects, so you don't have to apologize.
Yeah, so you know they were told to not go into that staircase. Same way though, while we're in court, I'm hearing the testimony, and they're talking about how, you know, it was certain type of reflexes that he had not realizing that, hey, there's a Marine sitting in the audience listening to this. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work like that.
There's a name for that type of reflex. It's called cowardice.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just putting it
because
out.
Put it like this.
And I've spoken about this. I was one of the softest people growing up, and I ended up working in the fucking projects. And again, not fucking scared.
Because you were conditioned.
Listen,
you
no,
were
man,
conditioned.
it's not that. Like, yo, there's a thing about being a pussy, right? So, like, someone who's a pussy or a coward, right? To me, it's action. It's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm scared all the fucking time. I was scared walking over here, bro. But I knew there was like, I was walking over here. I was walking over here. I didn't say anything. This junkie tried to grab my phone on my way walking here. And I was like, well, I went like this. I'm like, I'm so much stronger than you. I would murder you. Are you fucking kidding me?
You're from here, but I'm stronger.
Yeah, I'm a lot stronger. I'm from an area, like, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
I'm from the Heights when Washington Heights was. Washington Heights.
Oh, you from Washington Heights?
Before it was gentrified.
Before it was gentrified.
We was up there shutting it down
Yes.
just 2 weeks
When
ago.
Washington Heights was
much respect.
when it was the murder capital of the United States. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that when the Wild Cowboys held shit down. That's when I grew up in the Heights. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I wasn't scared. I was. You know what? I was scared. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie.
Terrified.
I was scared. I wasn't terrified. I'm like, I'm gonna react rationally. I can't be like, you like randomly. It was like a scene out of fucking. You ever was that The Walking Dead? Like he like ran at me like a zombie. It's like, whoa. And I didn't even react to it. I just kept walking.
Zombie Matrix.
and you put your earphone in front of one ear and you keep walking because like I've dealt with these situations, but I can't show fear to you because then I look like a pussy to everyone else.
Yeah.
My man, you're a cop. Everyone in New York knows what happens if you kill a cop. You kill a cop, it's a fucking death sentence.
Exactly.
People in New York are part of the most powerful gang in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And it looks like an accident.
It looks like an accident. Like your man's already told you, don't walk down those steps.
But then not only that, protocol says do not take out your firearm unless there's an emergency or you fear
or you're
for
in
your life.
a war zone.
Exactly. Now here's where I drew the comparison with myself and Peter Liang, because I've served in the Marine Corps. I fought in wars and stuff like that. The whole thing with him is, one, even if you had your firearm out, you keep it at the ready. The fact that you had your firearm pointed at a wall is not the ready.
Like this.
No, he literally had it out.
He had it drawn.
Yeah,
He had it drawn. Had his finger on the trigger.
Either pointing at somebody or don't point it at all.
Exactly, because if you're going to have it out, your means is to shoot somebody.
Shooting.
In the Marine Corps, we carry M16s, so it's out all the time. We are open
But you
to
gotta
carry
point it
worldwide,
down.
and we keep it at the ready, which is down.
I don't know that because I played paintball. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I kill at paintball, son.
Yeah.
Everybody wants me on their team, But the thing is like, when you have your M16, your safety is on your side. It's one click. It's either go to semi or burst. As a cop, you have two safeties on your firearm. There's the one that you click off, and there's the one that's behind the trigger.
There's no such thing as an accident.
Exactly. In order for you to shoot somebody, quote unquote, by accident, punk ass liars, and shit, is the fact that you have to apply about 12 to 15 pounds of pressure on that trigger.
And on a finger.
Yeah.
With the finger.
That's no accident.
It's not accidental.
You can't fire it from the tip of your finger. You have to be dead on that freaking trigger and pull. And what's so crazy is that it ricocheted off the wall and hit Akai dead in his heart. But at the same time, you stepped over his body while he was there with his girlfriend, Melissa.
Dying.
While she was there calling 911 and basically going in and doing CPR because she don't know it, but she's getting the tutorial from 911. So Peter Liang has no excuse whether they teach you CPR or not, or they cheated, whatever. We all know the NYPD cheats on everything, especially their sergeant exam, their lieutenant exam. So fuck you, Lombardo. But, but the thing is that you could have called your dispatch and learned how to do it while you were doing it. But they didn't care. Instead, he picks up his phone, calls his PBA rep, and figures out how to cover this shit up.
Because he knew he fucked up.
Exactly. And his own partner was like, yo, I ain't going out for this shit. That motherfucker fucked up.
So basically, I mean, we've touched on a lot of things. So basically, you're still involved in that struggle. If anybody wants to be involved in this, out of one of the many murders that's been going on in this country, by all means, I mean, I've been to some of the marches down in East New York. There's a lot of power there.
We've turned too many brothers into hashtags.
Exactly.
And sisters as well too. You know,
Yeah,
shout out
Sandra Bland.
And another one that a lot of people, the media didn't pick up on widely is India Kaga. She's a Navy veteran. I work with her mother.
Wow.
Her mother out there in the DMV area and stuff. She was with her son, 4-month-old son, who was in the back seat. You know, her son's father was in the passenger seat. The Virginia Beach PD had a beef with him because he was a conscientious, you know, reggae artist who spoke about the system, so they hated that. They tried to say that they had a CI who said that he was going to kill somebody, which wasn't true. And so, but then also they said that he pulled a firearm on them while they're surveilling them. They didn't know that the baby was in the back seat, but yet they unloaded 30 clips into India Kaga, son.
Well, it's no secret.
This is a SWAT team, but yet the video was just released like a month or two ago, and they still went by that narrative. And I'm looking at this video, and I'm like, yo, Angelo Perry had no firearm in his hand. Everybody was like, well, what about the 2 flashes? Those 2 flashes were the flashbang grenades that they threw at this compact car with the baby, with an innocent woman, with an innocent man in there.
Which is how Ayanna Stanley Jones got killed,
exactly.
right?
In
Well,
Detroit,
also, it's no secret that the NYP, or at least the NYPD, they carry drop pieces.
But not even NYPD.
They carry drop pieces.
And I've heard that from a former police officer in Buffalo herself.
I'll tell you this. If they fuck up, oh shit. Okay, well they were gonna shoot me, so I did it to defend myself. They always do it to defend themselves. Have you noticed?
Right. And that happened in the Flatbush. Who's a 16-year-old in Flatbush a couple years ago? Kamani Gray.
Kamani Gray.
What self-respecting gangster carries a 6-piece revolver?
They always do it.
Only OGs carry revolvers, eh?
This is not the wild. Like, you carry a revolver because you don't want it to jam. That's what dudes in the hood who told me, like, I was, because the gun doesn't. It doesn't
go into the mic.
It doesn't look cool, the revolver, right? Because I remember in Juice they had the like revolver. By the way, did you guys know that Radames, the bad guy in Juice, we share the same name? Even
shit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, much respect.
But listen, we got to move on to your adult work. We can talk about the activism for and plug that. We'll plug it at the end, but plug it here. I did want to touch base. We mentioned Asian people, and I think with a couple of exceptions, the American left does not know how to deal with the Asian American population. And they have a different method of operating, and that's why I've seen things both not only with police brutality but with gentrification, where Asians get mobilized on the behest of white people, on the behest of money, against the self-interest
because of that false privilege, the minority syndrome.
And that affects my family personally because we're renters in an Asian neighborhood, and a lot of Asians are also renters, and they will eat themselves up to try and protect the moneyed interest.
Yeah.
That is another. We can talk about that for a whole other episode.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't just want to mention the Asians and then make it a throwaway because that's a whole other thing in activism. But any last thoughts on activism, because we got to talk about the adult film stuff.
All right. Let me throw this out to y'all real quick for activism, this Saturday we're about to have. We're actually having a big response to Ken Thompson. Hashtag
and for
Ken.
those of us not from New York or who are in New York and don't know shit, Ken Thompson.
Ken
Thompson is a black DA. He ousted a 80-fucking-million-year-old white man.
Yeah.
And he actually worked. I think
he was like 76 or something like that.
Yeah. Basically, he replaced Charles Hines, who was a corrupt, DA, Brooklyn DA. But then Ken Thompson showed himself because he actually built his campaign on Nicholas Hayward Jr.'s name. And got a lot of support from Nicholas Hayward Sr., which is another family that we work with.
He claimed he was going to pursue charges, he didn't do shit.
Which he's been working slowly on it. But he used that to get his campaign going.
And for the record, Ken Thompson worked on the lynching case from the 50s.
Yeah. And here's the thing: he used this whole exoneration.
What's his name? Lil Wayne had the lyric about him. Oh my God! The most famous lynching case in America.
Hold.
He worked on it. There's many.
Emmett Till.
And so he worked on the Emmett Till case, and then somehow now he's in this position, and he's waffling on living
black struggle to get himself in the position that he's at right now, and the
like
crazy.
Farrakhan.
Exactly. Exactly. I got a lot of beef with him as well too.
Fuck
But
that dude.
but at the same time, like he built this. But then when you say that you're gonna do something for a family or a community, do it. Don't go out there when your ADAs won the case, won the conviction. Even when the attorneys for Peter Liang try to say, even when the attorneys for Peter Liang try to say that how one of the jurors lied, and then Judge Chun realized that no, he didn't lie. It was just the round of questioning was different, so he was honest the whole time, and the conviction sticked. How do you suggest that this cop gets house arrest, probation, and community service, where if my black ass mistakenly shot a damn dog, I'll be in jail for 25 to life.
Satan's asshole, by the way.
Justice is not colorblind.
Justice hates black and brown.
And justice
It does.
Justice only happens for those who have the bread and the
and
power.
Yeah.
And the color. Justice happens for those who have the bread, the power, and the color. You wouldn't see something happening from my Hispanic ass.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you were a rich Hispanic, which there are, and that's a difference.
We'll get to
I'm not a big fan
Andy,
of a lot of Latinos. So
Talk a little bit about.
It's okay. I still love you.
Talk a little bit about Copwatch, and then we'll go into the.
All right,
the
well,
adult
Copwatch, shout out to my boy Jose LaSalle.
Much love.
He started a Copwatch patrol unit, with the most active Copwatch out there. Seems like I'm a part of the most active of everything.
stuff. For somebody that does not know what the fuck we're talking about,
you're my favorite
is
superhero.
Copwatch?
You better be a fucking part of all this
check
shit.
this. With Copwatch, basically, you see how the police are policing us when really they're only supposed to be responders to what we do. Well, we police the police. You see how
like Huey?
You see how exactly like Huey Newton and so forth. You see how they modified stop and frisk to broken windows. That was because of Copwatch Patrol and the stepson of Jose LaSalle, who actually caught on audio one of the cops basically calling him all type of derogatory names and telling him.
And Jose LaSalle's
was he the one?
He's
very
great,
active.
Yeah,
Was he a young kid?
Yeah, he was a young kid.
His dad is like a Metro, like his dad gives tickets out.
No.
His dad looks like a Mortal Technique if a Mortal Technique was like 50.
Yeah. Basically,
he's at every protest.
Basically, yes, Jose. Yes, you look over. But
I'm screwing up two kids.
No, but definitely shout out. The fact that you mentioned Immortal Technique, shout out to Immortal Technique. That's my fam right there too. I've messed with a lot of old school heads, MC Shyrock and all of them and so forth. But when it came to Jose, Jose approached me when I was a part of, still a part of NYC Shut It Down. He was like, I like what you do. I need you to represent Brooklyn in this. You run the Brooklyn sector, and I was like, okay, well, shoot, let's do this, because that's what I'm built to do. And ever since then, Jose, and my boy Steve, they got the Bronx and Harlem locked down. I got Brooklyn locked down and so forth like that, because there's a lot of cop watches out there that they just record, or they just sit around and meet like a bunch of, like a boys and girls club type thing.
Watch committee.
Yeah, basically, while we're out there and we're actually making changes because we release the videos, we put in CCRB reports. We file lawsuits. We file complaints.
Well, y'all know what's up. You guys are having invested passion.
Exactly, because we're there. We're literally there for the community. And matter of fact, if y'all can't see, but my arm is in a sling. That's courtesy of the NYPD. While I was cop watching, they thought I would stop, but no. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to continue what I'm doing. You just put a check in my pocket, though, so that way I can upgrade my movement.
Oh, shit.
I was, listen,
Can I ask you a question? Because I actually profiled NYC Shut It Down for a project that I did at school.
That's what's up, yo. You got to let me know about that project.
I'm a grad student in journalism. I wanted to show that the spoiled rich kids I go to school with can keep it real.
Yeah.
What would you? I mean, I know, and I noticed that conveniently the NYC Shut It Down meetings at Grand Central are always shut it down by the NYPD, or conveniently they send people to walk through, or
the agitators,
or they have the announcers at Grand Central conveniently shout over them.
Oh, so you know about that?
I do. I was hoping you could talk more about that.
Attention MTA and Grand Central.
Forgive me for hijacking your court.
Regardless of you continuously playing a loop to try to drown us out while we're there, we could forget one thing. We are passionate activists. We are passionate protesters. We are the movement. Okay, so we have learned from Asada and from Malcolm and from Martin and from everybody that's been out there in the movement before us. We will not be deterred by what you do. And to all the officers, especially Officer Slater, badge number 9815, who did this to my shoulder and tore my rotator cuff.
Names, motherfucker.
Yeah, we are not going to stop. To Lombardo, who was a part of Abu Ghraib out there in Iraq and abused the innocent, Iraqis out there, who is now a part of the SRG unit in New York City and stuff. We will not stop because we do not fear you, because at the end of the day, we have nothing to lose but our chains. And best bet, we're going to break our chains, and at the same time, we're going to break this system.
Rodimus is like, and I thought Amanda was going to get
So
me
what
on
you're
the
saying
FBI
is, what you're saying is the revolution will not be televised, but it's going to be podcast.
It will be tweeted.
But check this. The reason that the whole thing came about with revolution not be televised is because the system owns the media, the mainstream media. But check this. We have so many underground media networks that everybody listens to now. Oh, this revolution.
They fucked up with the internet, which is why they want to shut it down so bad.
So check this. The revolution
DARPA and all that other shit.
revolution will be televised. It will be up in your face 3D style. And if you ever want to join it.
Coming after your cell phone right now.
If you ever want to join it, you don't even have to march in the streets. You could be on Twitter, whatever, doing the hashtags and educating people. You could be on the sidewalk walking alongside us, but make sure you follow NYC Shut It Down on Twitter at NYC_Shut It Down, and you get all the updates that we're doing, because we just did Kendra James, who got murdered in Oregon on Monday. We shut down the whole of Flatbush and North Shore Ave and Church Avenue. 6-7 precinct wasn't ready for that. And next week we're gonna do Anthony Hill. But we definitely done stuff.
So this is every Monday, you guys.
Every Monday we're out there, and we're also.
So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in the plugs, but real quick,
follow them and Codeswitchin.
All right, Amanda, you had a question, and then we're gonna talk about Anthony B's adult industry, and then we gotta do plugs.
I spent a semester profiling People's Monday for a project that I did at school.
And remind us what People's Monday is for those that have never been to a protest in their life.
People's Monday is a gathering at Grand Central where people basically shut shit down. Is a gathering at Grand Central where people basically shut shit down to remember those who have died at the hands of the police.
Shout out to Mike, Kim, Armenta, Raph, Jeremy, all of y'all,
So much love to Kim.
Yeah, my family,
I know that it was found that conveniently, parentheses, not so conveniently, the Grand Central folks with the trains and whatnot always made their announcements and made them particularly audibly and particularly long during People's Monday. What have you guys done to sort of fight back? What has the movement done to sort of fight back against that and deal with that and still make sure that they're heard?
Well, put it like this. One thing, they think that we lose our voices. No, we don't. Another thing is that when you have a Marine Corps veteran that's used to doing cadences and so forth like that, every time you go higher, I go higher. And I do it to the point where I actually look for where the acoustics hit hard.
I don't know, but I've been told.
Exactly.
What?
So, I look for it, and I look directly at PD while I'm doing this, and I let it off. No, that's the Army. It's oorah.
Wait, Ranger
Army Corps
boys
doesn't do
oorah.
oorah?
No,
you said oorah.
I said oorah.
Oh, you said oorah? All right, cool. Yeah, because the Army does oorah, which we're going to get to the story about that. But yeah, oorah. Simplified to all my fellow devil dogs out there. But that's the thing. They don't realize that there's a new breed out there. One of the reasons why the system hates the fact that veterans have joined the movement, because 1, we're teaching. 2, we're collaborating. 3, we are making sure that our people stay safe no matter what it is. Because I even formed Revolutionary Security Corps, which is like the baby of the Black Panthers. So you may have done what you did to them, but we have learned from that. We know what it is that you
learned from COINTELPRO.
Oh, trust me, we have learned. Same way Huey sat. Nobody knew about this but Huey, but he sat with a law dictionary in his passenger seat. I memorize it every single day. I know the patrolman guidebook because that's one thing that is mandated being a part of Codeswitch, to know the patrolman guidebook. We know more about the law than the police know about it, and we hold them accountable. We enforce our First Amendment rights. We remind them that they cannot violate our Fourth and Fifth Amendment right. It's all like that. But they still do, and the system allow it, and they try to hand out ACDs, DATs, they throw us in the tombs, try to make us disappear. You got Ken Thompson taking things personally, trying to put the girly 7 behind bar, trying to order, a special prosecutor, but we beat them. Every time we beat them because we will not stop. The only time we will stop is when we in our grave. And if you even think about taking it to that approach, think about rethink that.
Well, I mean, the truth is sometimes you guys win, not always. But.
No, because even when it comes to the court, because they think they win when they lock us up.
Like the Gina 7 have been behind jail.
No, they always win in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, with the people that come out to stand, with the
Court
people that come
support
out to stand
and jail
with them,
support?
the jail support rolls deep. They know what they're doing and they handle their business.
Yeah, because
So for those who don't know what jail support is,
jail support basically, if one of us get locked up during the action and stuff, you guaranteed that right after the action is done, we are finding out what precinct you're at. We have all different type of lawyers. From
You
NLG
always have friends
to our
looking
personal
out for you.
lawyers.
so for y'all that never been to a protest, if you
Much love for
go to a
MJ.
protest and you get
Yeah.
locked
Shout out
up,
to
which
MJ,
probably won't happen, people got your back.
Yeah.
So don't be fucking
Cause
pussies
trust me,
and
we
show up to a
protect
protest.
all newcomers.
But all
I
I'm saying,
remember when MJ
is
was out for a few people.
embrace. I always tell anyone, whoever, like when I personal train, whatever, embrace the pain of what it is that you're doing, embrace the reality of it. If you're gonna do this, embrace the full compass of it. Like, it's not, I'm visiting New York today. I want to go check out this guy got shot. I want to go over. No, my man. Like, some real shit will happen to you, and embrace it. Be about yours. Be a man. Be a woman. Embrace it.
Exactly.
Right
So
out.
before we get to the many plugs,
And we
'cause
got
you're
your
involved
back.
in so much. Do you want to talk about the other P's?
You
You got a couple minutes. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're real quick about Justice Boy. Shout out to Angry Pacifists because when they locked us up in Midtown South, they flipped the barrier and all the cops ran inside, scared out their asses and shit.
Yo,
So shout out
you
to
know
my-
what? I've seen barriers getting flipped in 2 occasions in New York
My favorite
City.
superhero.
One was at the Million Hoodie March when they broke through the barricades in Herald Square. There was another time also at Union Square, but then the other time was when Kanye had the free concert for Fashion Week, and people were fucking throwing barricades like it was a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yo.
Like Kanye gets a bad rap, but I think like it's because Kanye has some real shit to say. He's just not articulate enough to express himself properly.
He's the musical part of the fight back against the system.
Like first of all, Kanye's music is incredible. I love Kanye. Kanye is a beast, and anyone who would argue against that is a pussy, right? But Kanye says some real
That's word of the day.
Kanye says some real dope shit. I don't care for his fashion or any of the shit, but I respect that he's trying to break into like a predominantly male homosexual world, and he's like, this like Christian black dude from fucking Chicago, which is hood as fuck. I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago.
Oh no, I've been to Chicago plenty of
So
times, especially with
fucking
the
hood.
Pornstars.
So hood. But all right, so I'm gonna exit this. I want to hear about.
He hear the word porn, he's like,
Yeah.
wait, hold up, cut that.
Like, all right.
put it like
You can't
this.
talk about porn without Amanda being.
So we're like, we'll wait till Amanda gets back. But yeah, Kanye, I feel like Kanye he's a fucking beast, and he says like a lot of times people like, oh, he's so arrogant, he's so this, and a lot of that is true.
Beethoven was
But
arrogant.
a lot of the
talking
stuff,
to the mic for fuck's sake.
Yeah, shit, Beethoven was arrogant,
right
but
here?
shit.
Yes.
a lot of stuff with.
You gotta stand. You're not holding your fucking hand.
I'm a fucking comedian.
You drunken
piece of shit.
Dominican motherfucker.
I'm not even drunk yet. God damn. I'm drinking wine, you twat. Listen, this hasn't even gotten me like tipsy yet. All right, I'm a little bit tipsy, but I'm not drunk. But I'm not
Come
drunk.
on, son.
But I'm not drunk. All right. So what I was gonna say was Mozart. I think it was Mozart. Mozart was actually like black, wasn't he?
Yeah, actually, yes, he was.
He was black, right?
He was black as hell.
I tend to step out the whole like everybody famous
And
was
the guy
black
who
discussion,
wrote the Three
but
Musketeers.
Yeah.
he was black.
He was
that,
also
that,
black.
That I will concede.
The woman
Quarter
who
black,
the
at
woman who
least.
wrote Matrix was black.
She was black. I'll
And,
concede that.
and arguably Terminator.
Black.
Black. So she said the Matrix is the prequel to Terminator.
Yeah, and then the Matrix is actually
Or
about
vice versa.
the Matrix is actually about what the people go through,
Exactly.
whether you wake up and become a protester and
Yeah.
fight against the system,
Yeah.
or you stay asleep.
And-
Very
then
true.
Hollywood
And
took
not a lot
it
of
and
people-
turned
not
it
a lot
into
of
something
people- and
cool.
like everyone's
Dennis
like,
Devo conversation.
that's just a conspiracy. What a lot of people don't know was that in the late 2000s, they settled her out of court.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it was a couple years ago. But let's talk about the porn real quick now that Amanda's here. Or the pastor shit.
I love that segment.
Well,
No. Pastor told closing remarks.
well,
I'm also a pastor, by the way.
well, with the porn, I started out in the porn industry in 2008 when I lived in Canada in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Shout out to Coco Delicious, who was the first adult film star and adult model I ever had. You know, she was from Toronto and stuff. Used to get a lot of photo shoot gigs. She did her own video content and stuff like that. You know, I was new to it, so I just knew how to do the promotion part of it, the bookings part of it. So I had so much experience with booking celebs and stuff like that. And then first time I ever heard of AVN, even though I lived in the U.S. for like most of my life, heard of AVN, and I'm like,
AVN is magical. Go on.
yeah, I was like, ooh, this sounds sweet. Let's see who's go there. Then I seen Ron Jeremy, and one way or another, she got an 8 movie gig with Ron Jeremy. She disappeared to the U.S. Never heard from her again, but I was happy because I got my cut, and I was still living in Canada, free health care, but I was happy, but then I left Canada due to some bullshit circumstances. Just don't live places illegally in other countries. But I'm allowed to go back though. But
Sure, man, he can.
As long as you don't get a DUI, you can go back to Canada.
Exactly. I see people with murder charges in back in
Or
Canada.
beat someone up. They take that beating someone up very seriously.
Or speeding. My partner's actually Canadian-born, and he's actually petrified to go back to Canada because he has a fuckload of tickets on his social insurance number.
Yes, and for those y'all who denied in Canada does have racism. I just want to put that out there. But I was engaged.
And
to
if
a
you
white
go to
woman out
Canada
there.
because of Trump, you're a pussy and anti-American.
Exactly.
You stay and you fucking fight.
Okay, that
All
I
right.
disagree with, but you know what? It's his show, so I'm not going to say nothing.
You can say whatever you want.
Sergio, don't get me put on a fucking list, dog. Stop.
It's too late.
Yeah, like I'm
I
already
tell
on the list.
I tell jokes for a fucking living.
Hey,
You're
I'm
like,
already
oh,
on the list,
9/11
so-
was an
so
inside
y'all
job.
be in the same room with me. Put
All
y'all
right,
on
enough,
this
enough.
one.
We have
But
two
the
options.
porn-
Either Canada or Mexico. What the hell?
Not you anyway.
I'm going to Cuba.
But we're going to go.
But back to the point. Like I came back to the U.S. When I ended up going to Saginaw, Michigan. I was still working with Coco and something like that. Went to Detroit, and then out of the blue, this porn star by the name of Jella Star hit me up.
Oh
and was
my god.
It was like, hey, can you book me for a show? Because I see that you do celeb events. And I was like, all right, cool. Matter of fact, no, it was just out. My fact, I'm sorry. It was Meryl's Fox. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, trust me, she big.
Google her.
But Meryl's, she was like, can you book me for a show? Because she had this other dude doing bookings, but the money was right, and I know how to talk my way into getting paid. So her first show I ever got for her was booked in Detroit. And the Detroit heads already knew who I was. Shout out to Seven the General, Tricky, and Royce the 5'9", everybody in D12. But
Guys.
Yeah,
but
I marvel at your glory.
Frank and all of them out there, Shamari. But we out there in Detroit. They book her. I go to the show. I see her dancing, and I'm like, yo, I need a manager. So like the Coco thing was one thing with me doing it via internet, doing all the bookings. Like she only met me one time, but yet I was managing. That's how I do most of my stuff. Like most of my talents haven't even met me yet. They just know this motherfucker get shit done. So Meryl's met her for the first time, and I was like, yo, how about I manage you? She's like, well, you draw me up a contract, and we can do this. And I said, well, here you go. You know, exclusive contract. Boom, got her down for a year. You know, 'cause I was trying to lock down a large thing. I'd like to make porn stars go to mainstream, sort of making money and making
A lot
royalties.
of them deserve to. They're very skilled.
Which I was the first person to ever make porn stars go to make royalties. And the first porn star I ever made do that was Melrose Fox. You know, so I'm out there doing my thing. Melrose said, hey, I got this one other porn star. Her name is Yellow Star. Hey, you know, what can you do? And I'm like, well, shit. Let me see a picture. She sent it to her. And literally, she's the blazing of porn, which is black and Asian. And I was like, oh, I'm in love. Okay.
And the cake is serious, guys.
Yes, it is. And yo, shout out to Jella. Still
Wait,
doing.
I thought she was a snow bunny. She's not a snow bunny.
No, she's blazing. She's black and Asian. She's black and Korean.
Asian, but she doesn't look it. She looks like a fucking. I was like, yo, this snow bunny's cake is so fucking serious.
You know, so we did. You know, and then I started the longest porn tour in history, which is the Double Play Triple X tour.
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, it's basically.
As do I.
We've hit up every single club throughout the U.S. to where we almost got into Canada and Hawaii, but their restrictions are kind of out there.
Even Canada?
Yeah.
Montreal, really?
Yeah, they're.
I'm only asking because I'm going on Friday.
No, but because of the factor of how deep our shows go.
Okay.
Literally, you're watching scenes.
Yeah.
It's not just dancing and pole tricks.
So
Like, we got
is this the
bananas,
case with the Brooklyn parties too?
Well, all right. Well, Brooklyn 3X Society. Oh, shout out to Dapper, Ludus, Diamond Ortega.
We're officially at the part where anybody still listening gets to be like, this is where you have to go.
Trust me, this is where you got to go because everybody thought that the vanilla party was gonna be a vanilla party, but you know we do our own twist on it. Shout out to Nikki. Shout out to Black Pipe. Shout out to Lucia Adonis. Dapper Dan, who started out. You remember Blacktail magazines?
No.
Oh, come on, son! You have to go to the bodega and get Blacktail magazines.
Ah,
but that's Dapper Dan right there, the icon of porn. He's the one that got Lexington Steele and all of them into porn.
You serious?
Yeah, this is the OG of porn. You know, superhero hanging out with superheroes. All right.
So let's get into it. We're getting into
Yeah.
If you want to be part of the cool kids at the Codeswitchin podcast, if you can code switch, this is where you fucking gotta go. Anthony B.
The first thing you have to do is you have to subscribe to the things we tell you to subscribe to, and then
Now.
Right. So what we are code switching on Twitter.
Codeswitchin on Twitter.
Codeswitchin on Twitter. My name is Sergio. Native NY Video on Instagram.
You better
People's
follow.
History on Twitter.
Badman Rad on Twitter.
Say that one more time, loud as fuck.
Badman Rad on Twitter and Badman Rad on Instagram. Follow me there.
All right,
But keep
Amanda.
going. Keep telling-
Real quick.
Sorry.
Real Rakhmetov, yeah, I'm a pretentious literary Russian snob.
All right.
But the energy she said that shit with.
She was like, "You better know
Like
this."
it's Britney, bitch. That's
And-
what she said.
Anthony B.
And me, I'm the man of many names, of the entertainment. I am Mr. Entertainment at CEO Anthony B on Twitter and on Instagram. You can even look me up on Facebook that way. I'm at Rated X Energy Drink, at Brooklyn's 3X Society on Instagram and Twitter as well too. At SSC Triple X Rated.
Is that Brooklyn Triple X?
Brooklyns with an S.
Brooklyns.
Yeah, Brooklyns 3X, the number 3X Society. We got, Jesus.
When's your next party?
Next party is going to be in July, more like July 16th. It's my Love and Lust Party Part 1.
Can I go?
Yes, you can. You just have to pay. But
I'm gonna pay.
Listen, yo, having been is worth it.
Yo, and Sergio went to the vanilla party, which is just supposed to be a regular party. And, yo, how did that VIP room turn out?
There was a lot of fucking.
And this is what we do.
Listen, I went to what's it called? It's Le Trapeze. The trapeze or whatever.
Yeah.
I went there for one of their sex parties. I took this girl that I was seeing at the time, and I was telling them it was like, to me, quote unquote, was like quite like a Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to go in deeper, man. I'm trying to go to some.
Yo, where the way to go, man? Like, literally, they call me Mr. Satisfaction, Mr. Entertainment. You know, I am the POV king out there. You know, you got Dapper Dan and stuff like that, which is the OG of porn. You got Ludus Adonis, which is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of porn. You know, you got Diamond Ortega, Kenya Sweets, Vanessa Smiles. You got
And you know what
Black
I like?
Pipe,
You know what I liked about
Nikki.
your parties?
Yeah.
Is that having been a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, there's a lot of fakeness, and your parties are very black. And
Yo, black liberation and brown liberation in porn, son. Like, Vivid, watch yourself.
I'm going, man. Like, I want to go because
I like it.
I want to get people caring. Women.
I felt more of a sort of black liberation at your parties than I felt actual Black Lives Matter shit where people were being pretentious and shit.
And you
Well,
know,
I
and you
saw
know why?
that.
And you know why though? Because look at everything that I've mentioned so far that I'm a part of. Brooklyn 3X Society. I got SC Triple X Production, which is my company. You know, my porn company. Social Entertainment was my mainstream company. You know, we got, you know, NYC Shut It Down, you know, and our affiliates from the Akai Gurley family, the Hayward family, the Lopez family, some of that Copwatch Patrol unit, you know, with Jose Lazal. It's all real movements in every single category that you could get to, whether it's porn, activism, whatever. Like, if you see my name a part of it, then you know it's real because I don't fuck with anything that's fake.
You're the Sábado Gigante of the people. Like, you're a movement of the people.
Yo, you can call me
Satellite.
yo, you can call me Shay of the entertainment industry. Like,
are there any activists, any protest marches coming up? People's Mondays.
People's Mondays next week on Memorial Day is gonna be Anthony Hill, which was he was a Navy or Air Force veteran, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was murdered out in Georgia. He was naked going through a bipolar episode, and the police, the only way they didn't know how to handle people who have been
was to bust
to
the
murder.
cap in his
Yes, to
ass.
murder them and stuff like that. And the cop also got indicted because he lied about his statement, and there was videos out there and stuff like that.
So you guys don't always meet in the same place? Or
No.
you guys always meet?
We bounce all over. Like, literally, we run New York.
So this
Blasio don't own New York.
this happens for those in New York or elsewhere. This happens every Monday at 6 o'clock?
Every
7?
morning at 7 p.m.
7
we
p.m.
actually have 5 facts about the people that we put out there.
So if it's 5 p.m. and you want to go no matter what on a Monday, what social media do you go to find the instructions?
Make sure you can follow us right now at NYC _Shut It Down. Hashtag
on Twitter. On Twitter. NYC
you can also-
_Shut It Down
yeah,
on Twitter.
you
If
can
you
also
follow
the
anybody on
hashtag.
Twitter, that's
Yeah.
the Twitter you fucking
And
follow.
you can also follow the hashtags, which we have on Facebook and Twitter. You can just look it up, or you can even Google it. Hashtag People's Monday, and you'll see all the upcoming PMs that we have coming up, and the past PMs and stuff like that. Also, this Saturday, we're going to be forming at Barclays Center, repping with, Auntie Gurley, which is Akai Gurley's aunt who was, he was murdered by that punk-ass Peter Liang, who was let off easily by the punk-ass judge, David Chun.
What
and,
time
and
on
the punk-ass
Saturday?
Ken Thompson. We're going to be out there at 1 p.m. doing it large and stuff like that. It's gonna be.
And
deep.
if you're on are you on Instagram?
Yes, NYC Shut It Down is on Instagram.
NYC _Shut It Down? or-
Yes, NYC _Shut It Down.
So it's NYC _Shut It Down on
Shut it-
Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, and Instagram.
Very-
Just a word of
very
warning,
fucking
though,
important.
For that action at Barclays, the cops do start gathering 2 hours in advance.
Oh no, yeah. We'll see with us.
Just make sure you got your grounds
No,
covered.
here's how we are.
Because I've been and
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I've been. Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
Show up.
here's how we
I've
are
been.
with the NYPD, who's our fans, because they literally follow our Instagrams and our Googles.
They
and we give
do,
them shout outs.
and it's
We have a hip hop cop division.
Yo,
We're about to get like 50 new cop followers.
Yeah, but check
and like
this out
5
right
real
here.
niggas.
We're the only movement that SRG, which is Strategic Response Group, which is supposed to be for terrorists, but evidently fighting for your rights is a terrorist movement for them. Because you're against the system. But SRG 1 through SRG 5, that's all units that represent each borough, follows People's Monday. We have 2 to 3 precincts that come together to follow us, and guess what? We shut them down. And if y'all want, y'all can follow my Instagram. And matter of fact, follow my Twitter for Copwatch, which is at CPU Brooklyn. And you will see what we do to them. We shut the system down because at the end of the day, like I said, all we have to do is lose nothing but our chains, like Assata Shakur said. And at the end of the day, you have murdered our ancestors.
End of the day, you have murdered our brothers and sisters. Whether you're brown, whether you're black, even our black brothers, our white brothers and sisters out there too have been getting a lot of things done to them. But we fight for everybody. And a lot of people out there who says, well, Black Lives Matter is racist. No, the reason we say Black Lives Matter because we're the only race out there, the only culture that has not been actually accounted for when it comes to these murders. Because people say all lives matter.
So the Cliff Notes version is, if you're white, the way to be cool is to say Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Well, you've never had to say White Lives Matter because they've always have, but you have to say Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
And
to all them people who say all lives matter, I got this right here.
That shit is racist.
All lives will matter.
If you're white, to be cool, either twerk or say Black Lives Matter.
But check this.
That's the word.
Don't twerk.
No, please don't twerk.
Please twerk.
Listen, PJ Bottoms, PJ Bottoms, we gotta close out, man.
Yeah, all right,
Yo,
but
Anthony,
I want to hear what he has to say.
No,
Let's
but check
hear it.
this. For all you people out there who say all lives will matter, all lives will only matter when Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Agreed. Fucking guys, this has been an amazing double session.
Just like that, I'm on a CIA
Codeswitchin.
list.
You've been on it, man. Codeswitchin on YouTube. bit.ly/Codeswitchin.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And Native NY video on Instagram. Badman Rada Instagram
Badman
on Twitter.
Rad.
Yo,
Rada, Rad.
this is the best new podcast. If you've been listening, show it to everybody. I don't
about
care if
everything.
you're in New York,
Like,
if
did
you're
you
in
think
Ohio, if
that
you're in
we would
Virginia.
invite a fucking street hero, because that's what you are. That's your name, street hero.
Yeah, you
Did you think we
literally
would
are,
invite a
dude.
street hero without a porno background? No.
You literally are like a fucking renaissance man.
Shout out to my boy Sergio because I've been rocking with Sergio for about 2 years.
Thank you.
Since the industry parties.
Those were good, man.
Man,
We gotta get Miss Lola on these.
Yo.
Yo, but in the words,
We're going to be off podcast talks. You could Twitter us.
yo,
Or whatever.
in the words of Lindsay Lohan, be
Please
adequate.
don't invoke Lindsay Lohan.
Have a good night.
In the words of Lindsay Lohan.
We're out.
Coke.